Have you ever found yourself talking yourself out of trying something new, even before giving it a fair shot? You know that feeling when fear or self-doubt swoops in and suddenly you're holding back from achieving what you really want? It's almost like you're some kind of a fortune teller. You're predicting the future without any real evidence. You're assuming it's not going to work out even though you haven't actually tried it yet. If that's you, if that sounds familiar, then stick around. I got some tea or coffee, depending on what you drink.
The tea is exceptionally good today. Who made this? Very delicious. Hold on.
Let's face it, it's a kind of thinking that can really hold you back from trying new things and experiencing all those positive outcomes that you desire. It's like your mind decides to play a little trick or big trick on you. You know those moments where your thoughts get a bit tangled up and they don't quite match up with your reality? Imagine slipping on a pair of glasses that make everything look skewed. It's like seeing the world through a foggy lens instead of seeing it clearly. When we're stuck in this loop, our thoughts might be exaggerated, negative, or just plain off. That can really mess with how we see ourselves, how we see others, and the whole world around us. I'll never forget the time when an editor reached out to me from an online magazine, and they had an upcoming issue and they needed somebody to create a collage for them. At first I was thrilled, what an incredible opportunity, right? But then that old familiar feeling crept in. Ding, 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 ding. Drum roll please. Imposter syndrome. Despite my inner doubts, I decided to push through the fear and take on the challenge. And throughout the whole process, I was nothing but a ball of anxiety. The perfectionism kicked in, and I remember thinking, what if they hate it? What if I'm not good enough? Or what if my collage is not good enough because I am not good enough? So the results are going to be terrible. It was constant negative thoughts, one after the other. But you know what? When I finally submitted the collage, the response was overwhelmingly positive. The relief I felt in that moment was indescribable. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And I realized, I am more than capable of rising to the occasion. That experience taught me a very valuable lesson. Sometimes, it might sound cliche, but it's actually real. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come when we push past our fears and our doubts. Write that down.
Is there a reason that you're not writing this down?
Fortune telling or predicting the future is exactly what I was doing, and that is a negative way of thinking. Some other ways negative thinking patterns can show up in our lives include talking yourself out of applying for that job because you think you're not good enough, so you're not going to get it. Or maybe you want to start a new hobby and you think, I'll probably be terrible at painting, so why bother signing up for the art class to begin with? See where this is going? 1 + 1 making 1? I hope so. Something I also did a lot was convincing myself that I'll feel awkward or out of place at social events, so I might as well stay home, which I did. And that did quite a number on my mental health and my social life because by the end of the day, we are social beings. We need to be around other human beings, not secluded in our bedrooms or in our houses for days on end. Sometimes go outside, touch grass, and see people. That's to me as well. Now that we've talked about what fortune telling is, let's dive into how it can really mess up with our heads. Trust me, I've been there and I know firsthand how much of a toll it can take. Let me take you back to a moment in my life where fortune telling had a grip on me, and I mean a strong grip. Picture this. I've been creating digital art for a couple of years, and in 2021 I started a new medium, digital collages. Who doesn't love a challenge? The problem is every time I created one, perfectionism would choke me throughout the whole process. This led me to predict the future every single time. I'd say things like, oh, the final product wouldn't be good enough, so I'm probably terrible at this. And I'd say things like, what if nobody likes it? What if it doesn't resonate with anyone? You know, the fear of being seen or perceived. That nagging voice crept in, whispering doubts and insecurities. It's like I was trapped in this cycle of fear, convincing myself that I was going to mess it all up, which I didn't. And I spent so much energy thinking otherwise. And you know what? That is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the negative impacts of fortune telling. It's like a heavy weight on our shoulders, dragging us down and keeping us from reaching our full potential. Think about it. Constantly predicting the worst case scenario can really mess with our mental well-being. It's like we're stuck in this never-ending loop of stress and anxiety, always second-guessing ourselves and our abilities. I'm sure you can relate, right? Or maybe not. Maybe you found yourself avoiding opportunities or procrastinating on pursuing your passions because that little voice in your head keeps telling you that you're not good enough. But here's the thing. Fortune telling doesn't just mess with our minds. It also limits our growth and opportunities. It's like we're stuck in this bubble of comfort, too afraid to step outside and try new things and take a chance on something new because you've already predicted that it's gonna fail. It's not gonna work out. So where is room for the what if? What if it works out? And let me tell you, I've had my fair share of missed opportunities because of it. I've missed out on so many events and exciting opportunities, both social and career-oriented. Fortune telling has a way of holding us back from truly living our lives to the fullest. I can attest to that. But I'm not here to dwell on the negatives. I'm here to shine light on them so we can confront them head on. Because the truth is, we are all in this together one way or the other. This is a human experience. It's a universal human experience, navigating the ups and downs of life. So let's take a moment to acknowledge the impact that fortune telling has had on our lives. Let's recognize that we are not alone in this struggle and that we have the power to break free from its grip. Alright, okay. It's time to roll up our sleeves and tackle this beast head on. First, let's talk about some realistic strategies to overcome fortune telling. 1. Challenge negative thoughts. When you notice yourself getting in that loop of, fortune telling, take a moment to pause and challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself if there's any real evidence to support them, or if they're just based on fear and assumptions. 2. Seek perspective. Reach out to friends, family, or a trusted mentor for support and perspective. Sometimes an outside perspective can help us see things more clearly and challenge our negative beliefs. 3. Hold on. 3. Focus on small wins. Celebrate small victories along the way and acknowledge moments when you challenge fortune-telling thoughts and replace them with some more realistic ones. By celebrating these small wins, you reinforce positive behavior and build confidence over time. 4. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself throughout this process. Changing negative thinking patterns takes time and effort, so be patient with yourself and recognize that it's okay if you stumble along the way. You just have to get back up, dust your shoulders, and keep going. Treat yourself with the same kindness that you'd offer a friend, or a friend, or somebody close to you that's facing similar challenges. 5. Practice mindfulness. Incorporate mindfulness techniques into your daily routine to help you stay grounded and present. When negative thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently redirect your focus to the present moment. I will give you 2 examples of breathing techniques that I use, or mindfulness techniques that I use. One is mindful walking. You take a walk outside and focus your attention on the sensations of walking. You notice how your feet feel as they make contact with the ground, the rhythm of your steps, and the movement of your body. Pay attention to the sights, sounds, smells around you, and try to stay fully present in the moment as you walk. Another method is breathing exercises. Take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Close your eyes. I don't think you can do that with your eyes open because you're not concentrating. Anyway, close your eyes, take slow, deep breaths, and pay attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. Notice how your body feels as you breathe in and out, and let go of any tension or stress with each exhale. When those negative thoughts start creeping in, it's important to pause and challenge them. There are so many questions you could ask yourself. I'll give you 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 that you can use, and then from there you can come up with your own that help you question and challenge the negative thinking pattern. 1. Ask yourself, is there evidence to support this prediction? Challenge yourself to think critically about whether there's actual evidence to support your negative prediction, or if it's based on assumptions or fears. 2. What are alternative outcomes or possibilities? Encourage yourself to consider other potential outcomes or possibilities that are not solely negative. Explore different scenarios and potential outcomes. 3. Have similar predictions come true in the past? Reflect on past experiences to determine if similar predictions have come true before. Recognize that the past outcomes do not necessarily predict future events. Keep that in mind. The 4th thing you can ask yourself is, am I focusing only on the worst case scenario? Evaluate whether you are focusing solely on the worst possible outcome and disregarding more positive or neutral possibilities. 5. What is the likelihood of this prediction coming true? Assess the probability of the negative outcomes occurring and consider whether it's realistic or if you are catastrophizing the situation. 6. What evidence contradicts this prediction? Look for evidence or instances that contradict your negative prediction and recognize that there may be factors that mitigate or counteract the predicted outcome. 7. How would I advise a friend in a similar situation? Imagine advising your friend who is experiencing similar negative thoughts. Consider what advice or perspective you would offer them and apply it to your own self. 8. What can I do to challenge this thought or change it? Identify strategies or actions you can take to challenge or change your negative thought pattern. This could include cognitive reframing, seeking support from others, or engaging in activities that promote positivity, healthy positivity, and resilience. By asking yourself these questions, I feel like you can challenge negative fortune-telling thoughts and cultivate a more balanced and constructive perspective. More often than not, you realize that they're just that, thoughts, not facts. And once you start challenging them, you'll weaken their hold over you. To freedom! Now let's talk about tracking your progress. Changing negative thinking patterns is like building a muscle. takes time and consistent effort. Keep a journal or jot down these moments where you challenge your fortune telling thoughts successfully and replace them with more realistic ones. Over time, you'll start to see a shift in your mindset, and I believe that it's something worth celebrating. To wrap everything up, we've delved into understanding what fortune telling is, recognizing its presence, grasping its consequences, strategies for overcoming it, coping and reshaping thought patterns, and tracking your progress. So there you have it, the journey from self-doubt to empowerment. And it's filled with twists and turns, but it's a journey worth taking. We've explored the concept of predicting the future and delved into its impact on our lives. I hope that you can use that and the strategies that we've had today to start your journey or continue your journey into changing and reshaping negative thinking patterns. I want you to remember that you're not alone in this. We all grapple with negative thoughts, with negative thinking patterns from time to time. But by challenging those thoughts, by seeking support and practicing self-compassion, that's a big one. We can break free from the grip of fortune telling and embrace a more positive and fulfilling life. So let's take it one step at a time, celebrating each moment, each little small victory along the way. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, we'll surprise ourselves with what we're truly capable of. And I know that's a lot. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I hope to have you back next time. Take care of yourself and keep challenging those negative thoughts. I believe in you. You've got this. We've got this. Adios.